Today is the day. I lost my fantasy football league, and as a punishment, I have to spend the entire day from 8:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. at Magic Kingdom doing only what Disney's Genie tells me to do. So I started my morning with a ride on the monorail. The park is open for resort guests starting at 8:30. Let us through the tap styles around 8, and I opened up Genie and set my preferences with a few things that people had donated money to be able to choose. We'll see if Genie gets to all of them throughout the day, but we started with Dumbo. So I went through the resort guest check-in and then over to Tomorrowland. For rope drop, as everybody headed over to Space Mountain, I took a turn over towards Dumbo. But Genie didn't want me to get on until 9:05. That's when I thought would be a good time to go. So I spent all of resort guest early entry just sitting here outside Dumbo. Then finally at 9:05, it decided it was okay for me to ride it then. When I got off, I marked that I did this, which is what you'll see me do throughout the day. Next was the Little Mermaid, but not until like 9:45. So again, went and sat outside the Little Mermaid until it was time. When I got done seeing Ariel and her friends, it was time to see if they had changed the recommendation at all. But no, the plan was still for me to go and meet Donald and Goofy back in Storybook Circus. That didn't open till 10, so I still had a little bit of time to sit there, but got in, said hey to the best pals, Goofy and Donald, and kind of surprisingly, even though I had selected multiple princesses as preferences, these are the only characters Genie told me to meet today. Really wanted me to do the People Mover, but not until 11:15, so it filled in and put Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin to burn some time. It was posted 20 minutes, it took about 5, maybe 8. For it was time for me to go kill some aliens. After achieving my status at Galactic Hero, I was hopeful that maybe it would just tell me to go get on the People Mover right next to me. But nope, it said we're gonna fill that gap with the Tiki Room, so I walked across the hub. The Dapper Dans were in the car going by, so I stopped to see them sing before I headed into Adventureland to find my favorite birds. I walked up right as the pre-show was ending and walked in to see Jose and all of our favorite flying friends. And now, finally, it decided I could walk back to where I had just been and get on the People Mover. So, back over to Tomorrowland. There was still no wait for it, so got up there and enjoyed my relaxing 10-minute ride through Tomorrowland. These 10 minutes are probably the highlight of the day. For most of the morning, it had been wanting me to do the Carousel of Progress right after this, so I was assuming I would get off and just walk over there. But nope, Genie had different plans now. It substituted Carousel of Progress for Mickey's PhilharMagic when the custodians was drawing Mickey with his water, so I stopped there on my way over. PhilharMagic, definitely still a banger. Don't sleep on it next time you're in the park. Now, finally, it is time for me to eat. This is the first time Genie has told me to eat today. Festival of Fantasy was going on as I was walking by, and Maleficent kind of had some blue balls. She was smoking but could not get that fire out. Grabbed the sweet and spicy chicken and waffle. Genie had allotted me an hour and a half for eating. I was very hungry, so I believe I ate in 4 minutes. But there was no way to tell it that you were done eating. So we made the executive decision that I should take my time walking over to Tom Sawyer Island, but I did not need to wait until 1:40 to go. Starting to get hot, and after that carby lunch, I was definitely starting to feel things. So once I got over there, I walked back to Fort Langhorne, and I found a rocking chair, and I fell asleep. After about 25 minutes on the island, I got on the raft to head back over to the mainland, where it still wanted me to wait until 2:55 to do the Country Bears. I lingered around until probably 2:30, and we decided that was good enough, and I could go in. And I do appreciate that up to this point I hadn't waited more than 5 minutes for anything, but I also hadn't done an e-ticket attraction, so there was nothing to wait for. Until now, after I updated, it sent me over to Big Thunder. I walked out and the band was doing their parade. I walked back over to Big Thunder. It was posted as 30. It took about 15, so not bad at all for the wildest ride in the wilderness at the busiest part of the day. Yes, all those matching shirts you see are because it is Cheer Nationals this weekend. Now, Genie really wanted me to get on that 350 riverboat, even though I could have gone right then. I mean, I was literally right there. But it added Swiss Family Treehouse, so I headed over to Adventureland and took a walk through the treehouse. I really took my time. I let a lot of people pass me. I wasn't just trying to check this off the list. But even still, by the time I was done, I could have gotten on the riverboat at 3:30. But no, Genie said you need to wait for the one that's going to leave at 4 o'clock. So I sat in Liberty Square for 30 minutes and finally got to take my cruise around the rivers of America. Once I got off, the plan didn't really change. It sent me over to It's a Small World. Walked past Peter Pan doing his little meet and greet, which Genie doesn't know happens. Like, it could never suggest that to you. And I took the happiest cruise on Earth to see all the little children of the world. After Small World, I thought it was finally going to make me meet the princesses. It had been suggesting Cinderella. But nope, once I marked done and hit refresh, it added the Speedway. I hate the Speedway, and at this time of day, it had been really warm and really sunny, but luck was on my side. It got overcast. It was only like a 10-minute wait, so really not too bad. Surely after the Speedway, it was going to send me to meet the princesses. Nope, instead it added Winnie the Pooh, so I walked over there. And for kids, the Winnie the Pooh queue is really fun. It's really interactive, but everything makes so much fucking noise. And I kid you not, every station was manned. All of the buzzers, the beepers. Family behind me kept touching me like I thought I was going to go ballistic. Genie was breaking me. 7 dwarves had been after Pooh, and yes, I was standing right there, so let's see if it keeps it. Nope. Walked over to the Hall of Presidents, crossing the park again, and it's another great show that you shouldn't sleep on. So after enjoying my time with Mr. Lincoln, I figured, okay, it's finally time. They're gonna send me back to 7 Dwarfs. I just had to get this detour to close my rings. Yep, so back across the hub of the park, right when people are starting to get seated for fireworks, and it put me in line at the longest time of the day. 95 minutes, and it took the entire time. Wanted to leave so badly. This was definitely living up to the punishment that I thought it was going to be. But finally, I got on, and things were looking up. Next, it was sending me over to the Astro Orbiter right when fireworks were happening. I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So I headed over there, and from the line was getting to watch most of the fireworks. Got on the elevator, got to the top, and we were the next group of rockets to load when it started raining and thunder and lightning. So ride was shut down. So I headed back down the elevator, and at this point I figured, okay, Genie's gonna know that things are closed. Nope, it still sent me over to the magic carpets, which cannot operate in lightning. I walked over to Adventureland in the rain, and sure enough, it was closed. So refresh, it sent me over to the carousel, so back across the park, walking in the rain. Fortunately, there wasn't a line, but they had the queue wrapped up to where I wasn't standing underneath, so I was literally standing in the rain, just waiting for the carousel. Now it was really starting to pour, and it sent me back to the other side of Liberty Square to the Haunted Mansion. After 20 minutes, I got my invitation inside, and things were a little bit backed up after the stretching room. It seemed, everybody was rushing to the indoor rides, but I got on my Doom buggy and went to see all of our favorite ghosts. Now, for most of the day, Genie had wanted me to end the day at Pirates, and I was wondering if it was going to start adding things, but nope, just kept Pirates. So across the park I went in the pouring rain. I was freezing cold at this point. But I made it. After this, I refreshed Genie, and it didn't tell me to do anything else, so I went to Casey's Corner and finally got to eat again. I never ordered desserts from quick service places, but I felt like I deserved it. After I scarfed that down, I walked through the shops on Main Street so that I didn't have to get wet, said goodbye to the castle, and got back on the monorail to go to my car, get a dry shirt, and then go make last call at Trader Sam's. Overall, I did 15 rides or attractions and 5 shows. Spent almost 2 hours doing nothing because Genie couldn't come up with something for me to do. Punishment well served. I'll try not to suck at fantasy football next year.